Coming up on This Week in Plymouth, tensions rise at the Water and Sewer Commissioners meeting, PRHS begins its search for a new principal, and several new announcements from around the town. All that and more coming up on This Week in Plymouth. Hello and welcome to the new season of This Week in Plymouth. I'm your host, Dan Salzer. Starting off this week, there were three different meetings this past Tuesday. The first of these three meetings was the Water and Sewer Commissioners. A majority of the meeting consisted of signing various documents, but later on, the board got into a heated discussion regarding 89 Fairgrounds Road. Commissioner Tom McLaughlin, who owns the property, has been conducting some work on his property regarding an installation of a second connection of a sewer line. The other commissioners, Chris Woods and Paul Sansucci, believed to be in violation of their regulations. With no resolution made during the meeting, the topic was tabled for the next time. Meeting at the same time as Water and Sewer, the Pemmy Baker Regional School Board met for the second time this school year. The board received a request from the Water and Sewer Department to create an easement for a new water line that cuts through the property of the high school.
What they're looking to do, really, is make a shortcut. So they're looking to take a direct line from where it comes up along the river, from the development downtown Mount Highway. Okay, right now it comes all the way across your fields and works its way around towards Merrill Street. You may be able to see on the very colorful with a lot of colors on it. They just want to go straight across and meet the new lines over by the Common Man Inn and do that. They would cross. They would abandon the lines that currently go underneath the pit, the athletic fields and over there, and just basically make it a straight shot. That's what this is showing.
Okay. All in favor? Everyone's in favor.
Later that night, the zoning board held its first meeting since a joint meeting with the planning board back in May. The board addressed a request for a special exemption regarding the installation of a 6-foot vinyl fence at 18 Bridgewater Hill Road. The request was approved by the board after receiving no public input. The planning board met this past Thursday in a joint effort with the Housing Opportunity Program Subcommittee and the Barrett Planning Group. Moving on to this week's announcements, the fire department is looking for a full-time firefighter EMT. The details of the position as well as how you can apply can be found on the town website at www.plymouth-nh.org. Additionally, the fire department has announced an open house for September 30th from 11 to 2 p.m. The police department posted an activity update this past Wednesday on Facebook. The post includes details on many arrests, as well as information on some investigative reports and some recent vehicle accidents, all from late August up until last week. Be sure to check out the full post to get all the details on their Facebook page. The Recreation Department announced several new activities and events for the start of the new school year. You can get the full details of all of these events on their Facebook page as well as the Recreation Department website. Pease Public Library will be busy with events going on over the next 2 weeks. There'll be a special presentation on Wednesday, September 13th for the 13 Days in October, the untold story of the Cuban Missile Crisis story. That presentation will be starting at 7 p.m. Pease also has a discussion session on Friday, September 15th from 12:30 to 1 p.m. about the short story Interpreter of Melodies, and another one on Monday, September 18th at 6 p.m. discussing the book The Talented Mr. Ripley. Library Assistant Director Becky White has launched a new show here on Pemmy Baker TV called Check It Out. The show highlights the upcoming events at the library, different books, subjects, and genres on display, and also will be filled with interviews from current library staff and other key figures. Be sure to check out air dates on our channel on channel 1302. Plymouth Regional High School has begun a search for a new principal. After 33 years of service at PRHS, Principal Bruce Parsons will be retiring at the end of this school year. Details on the position can be found at PRHS's website at prhs.pemmybaker.org. PRHS will also have a 2-hour delay on Wednesday, September 13th for teacher professional development. Homecoming week for the Bobcats begins Monday, September 18th. There will be many home events throughout the week highlighting the Bobcats, with both a homecoming football game against Laconia and the school dance taking place on Saturday, September 23rd. Plymouth Elementary School will be hosting Picture Day on Tuesday, September 12th. It's now time to take a look at sports for the first time in the new school year. Bobcats football kicked off the season with a powerful 42-7 win on the road at Pembroke Academy. After a close 7-7 score in the first quarter, the Bobcats were able to shake off the early season jitters to control the rest of the game. The running game powered the Bobcats offense, with Robbie Thornton leading the way with 122 yards rushing and a touchdown. Ben Valenti had 104 yards rushing on the ground with 2 touchdowns of his own. Luke Diamond was limited with his passing but efficient, going 3 for 5 for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. Field hockey game this past Thursday against Sanborn has been postponed, with no makeup date having been announced yet. The Bobcats sit at 0-2 after the first 2 weeks of the season. They return to action at home on the 12th of September against John Stark at 4 p.m. It's been a slow start for the girls' soccer team. After having the season opening game postponed due to a storm, the Bobcats sit at 0-5 and head into the rivalry match against Laconia at home on Tuesday afternoon. Boys soccer has started off strong, sitting at 2-1-1 on the season. Both wins were shutouts, 1-0 against Kennett, followed up with a 6-0 win over John Stark, both at home. The Bobcats return to the pitch when they travel to rival Laconia on Tuesday. Volleyball opened its season right here on Pemmy Baker TV on August 31st against Kingswood. There were some great attacking plays and defensive digs for the Bobcats, but Plymouth dropped the season opener 3-0. Volleyball returned to the court yesterday at Oyster River to open a 3-game road trip. Cross country opens the 2023 season today at the Mount Washington Invitational. The Bobcats will race against Bow, White Mountains Regional, and Berlin in the meet. Golf opened the season at Co-Brown against the host Bears in Kearsarge a few weeks ago. The Bobcats finished with a score against Co-Brown 81-52 and Kearsarge 67-52. Taking a look at next week's meetings around town, both the Plymouth Select Board and the Elementary School Board will be holding meetings on Monday, September 11th. The Select Board will meet at 5 p.m. and the Elementary School Board will be meeting at 6 p.m. Also, the Energy Commission will be hosting a meeting on Thursday, September 14th. That will wrap up this week's episode of This Week in Plymouth. Remember, you can watch full replays of town meetings and PRHS sports and other original content from us here on YouTube. For our executive producer, Jonathan Picard, I'm Dan Salzer. Be sure to visit the town website and social media pages to stay up to date on everything happening around the town. Thank you for joining us as we kick off the second season of This Week in Plymouth, and we'll see you next time.